Hey guys, and welcome to the channel. I figured for the first 2021 video we would do a comparison. So I got this St. Martin, I think it was just a couple days after Christmas. I got it as a gift. Unfortunately, the movement is not functioning correctly, so everything looks good right now, but it randomly just stops. So this one will be going back to St. Martin for repair, but I figured before I do that, I put up this comparison video because I posted a picture of these two side by side, and I got a few people asking me to do a comparison and put them side by side on camera, see how they play with the light differently, and what I think is the better buy. And I'm going to give you guys a really wishy-washy answer at the end of this. So let's get into it. So first and foremost, we've got the two latest versions of this. They're the same case size. Actually, this is not the latest version. This is version 2, but it's pretty much the same as version 3 as far as I'm aware, other than the logo and I believe the sign crown. So, but yeah, they're the same size. So it's a 40 to a 40.5 millimeter case. The Pagani Design is actually slightly thinner. I believe, we're talking fraction of a millimeter here, but you can also see that the St. Martin kind of curves down a little bit more on the lug, so it hugs the wrist a little bit better. But generally they're the same size and pretty close in weight as well. So the crystals on this, I think, is a big difference. So on the left, you've got a sapphire crystal, you got a decent magnification in the Cyclops. On the right, you also have a sapphire crystal, and I think perfect magnification on the Cyclops. But the big thing that St. Martin has over the Pagani is the AR coating. So you can kind of see it. I'm going to see if I can get. I don't know. It's hard to show, but that's a pretty good view right there. I know it's focusing on the wrong thing, but you just get a little bit clearer dial and a clearer date on the St. Martin. So the inserts on these, you can see they're pretty similar. There's not much difference when it comes to the inserts. Both are, done really well. Even the pearl on this one is centered nicely. They both align nicely. I've got no problems with the insert on the Pagani. Here's the insert on the St. Martin. You got a little bit of a different loom pip setup, but it just looks a little different. It's functionally a little bit different. This one, you can see it sits up a little bit. It might get knocked off, but probably is not going to happen. How about the bezel action? I know that's a big thing for everyone. So in my review of the Pagani Design, I'll leave that up here. I really like the bezel action on this. It's clicky, it's snappy, it's precise, I guess is a good word for it. There's not much back play at all. Lots and lots of grip. And then, so again, I've got no real problems with this. It might be a touch too easy to turn now that I've had this one. But let's bring the St. Martin in. So this one, I wish there was a little bit more grip because it's pretty stiff, but it is absolutely rock solid. There's no movement at all. It's a great bezel. This is, this thing is, if it just had a little bit more grip on those teeth, I think it would be perfect. So, I think one of the big things you can consider when choosing between these two is the color. So yeah, they're both Hulk, Submariner homages, but you can definitely see there's a difference in color. So the St. Martin almost looks black in some lighting. So I think it looks better. And my big thing is when the Pagani Design catches the light, you can see how it turns kind of a bright green, where the St. Martin is still like a darker shade of green. And I think that kind of cheapens the look of the Pagani design. And that's just me, though. But I think if you're going for a green watch and you want to stand out as green, I think the Pagani is a better choice. If you kind of want a more subdued green, definitely the San Martin. Let's zoom in on these dials real quick, just to. I mean, there's not, as far as printing goes, I'd say they're on par with each other. Alignment, I think, is on par as well. There's no, it doesn't look funny at all. I definitely think San Martin has the nicer handset. It's just minor things, but it just looks like a nicer handset when you put them side by side. The San Martin just seems to, I guess, just catch the light a little bit different. I don't know if it's because the Pagani is just more of a flat handset or what, but the handset definitely looks better on the San Martin in my opinion. Date windows, they're centered nicely. I think it's definitely done better on the San Martin. One thing that I noticed is the San Martin. If you get really close in here, you can see the indexes. They're like a flat cylinder, and when you look at the Pagani, it's more rounded on the top. Again, maybe it's just a preference thing, but this one, I think San Martin definitely wins here. It just looks nicer. Those indexes catch the light nicer, and overall just gives a nicer appearance. The case backs on these, I will go to the Pagani, obviously. It's an NH35 movement, so it's not something you really want to look at a lot, but it's kind of nice, and it sits flat. It sits more flat than the bubble case back on the San Martin. As for the crowns, I think I'm going to hold off judgment on that right now. Definitely the Pagani Design has the better crown action. It's nice and smooth. I've just got no problems with that. This one is really gritty, but I've had 4 San Martins and none of them feel like this. So this is another thing I'm having them take a look at. It's just not easy to wind, or screw in and screw out. So I'm going to hold off judgment on that. But the crown action on this Pagani is excellent. So I don't see it being any better than the Pagani. Let's talk about the finish. How about that? Finish, I'd say, is actually pretty similar. Putting them side by side here, getting them real close on that brushed finish. I don't really see any major difference. You do get a little bit more, I don't know, it just looks a little shinier on the San Martin. I'm not sure if maybe it's due to the steel that they use. I don't know. But both should be 316L, so who knows. The bracelet, I think, is where a big difference is. So let's talk about the Pagani bracelet real quick. The end link fitment is one of my complaints. Definitely right here in this spot, you can see there's a decent sized gap. You do have some quality control issues right on this edge here. You got a little extra burring. But overall, the bracelet on the Pagani is pretty nice. You got polished sides. The clasp, I pointed this out in my review. You've got quality control issues here. This edge that I'm running my fingernail along, it's not smooth at all. This one's fine. But on the San Martin, everything is tight. It lines up perfect. You can see, I've talked about this in the past, the reflection of that brushing line there, how it matches up pretty much perfectly. And that just shows you that, the end link contours to the lugs perfectly. So in this version, they shortened up a little bit. This is kind of how the original Rolex handles it. It brings down the overall lug to lug. So this should wear better than the Pagani. Not by much, but I think it's noticeable. And then on this one, you got nice chunky links. They're all brushed, so the brushing is done really nicely. The clasp on this is really, really nice. So you've got the fold over nicely milled. Everything functions perfectly. It's nice and secure. Tons of micro adjust. No sharp edges. You see they chamfered these edges here. Everything is nice and, you don't get any irritation on your wrist when you're wearing the San Martin. And I cannot say the same thing for the Pagani. I definitely get some irritation in this area on my wrist. And I realize everyone's wrist is different, but this one it's a fine clasp. Pretty tight, but it just can't compare to the nice beefy clasp on the San Martin. So that's kind of the quick rundown between the two. Where does that extra money go? So, we're talking retail prices. This one is $210, I think, something around there. And retail on this is about $90. So that's more than double the price of the Pagani Design. When we're talking on sale, you can get this thing for $70, and you can get this thing for $170, $175-ish, $180. So that's getting pretty close to 3 times the savings. So where do I think that money goes? You're definitely getting a slightly better quality control. I talked about the weird burrs on the bracelets, and maybe that Cyclops is not perfectly aligned. It's just minor things on the Pagani Design. It's a really good watch. But on the San Martin, this thing it's perfect. Besides the movement, you can see the movement stopped. But this thing was used for 6 months, and it's been fine. So that's nothing that they could have seen. The lume on these, so you can see they're kind of a different color. The Pagani Design is more white. This one's kind of a creamy color. I actually really like the creamy color on this. I don't know why. I usually don't, but I think it just works with the green dial. But so here's a lume shot. You can see the Pagani Design. It looks pretty good on camera, but it's definitely not that good. The Pagani Design is one of the worst in my box, and the San Martin just destroys it. So some of the extra money definitely goes into the quality of the bracelet. You got nice chunky links on the San Martin. The clasp is the same. They recycle the clasp on this Pagani for pretty much everything with a bracelet on the Pagani lineup. Where this one, I believe, is just on this one. It might be on maybe the 62 Mas. But it's just a super nice bracelet. Really solid feeling. The tolerances on it are nice and tight. There's not much wobble going on here. You get a little bit more rattle when you're talking about the Pagani bracelet. Again, it's just minor things, but it adds up to an overall much nicer package on the San Martin. I had these for a couple weeks now, and I keep reaching for the San Martin, even though the movement just randomly stops. So that kind of tells you my preference on it. I think if you're buying them at full retail price, I guess it depends on the color you're going for. So a green is a color that, you're not going to wear very often. So I paid full retail price for my black San Martin, $210. And I was really happy with that purchase. I still am. I think it's worth every penny. It's something that I can wear every single day if I need to. Whereas a green one, I'm not really going to wear it every single day. So that's where I think Pagani kind of comes in, and I might go with the Pagani Design if I was buying either one of these watches, in green at least. But that being said, if you can get a good deal on this, maybe used, like I said, I got this as a gift, but I've seen these go for under $140 used. And I think for that, I'd probably pony up the extra cash and just go with the San Martin, because it's definitely an overall nicer package. The lume is just killer on it. The bracelet is amazing, and I think they just pull off the overall package a lot nicer. And we can argue back and forth with whether we think it's worth double the price. I personally do think it is worth double the price. I mean, it's still not an expensive watch. $150 for, I mean, even $175 for a watch of this quality is still pretty incredible. And you know, it's a watch that should last you forever if you take care of it. You know, you're dropping a new movement every 10 years or so. Yeah, I see no reason why this watch won't last a really long time. And if you're planning on keeping the watch for a long time, I would definitely go with the San Martin. You know, maybe if you're unsure about color, you can go with the cheaper one. But when I get down to it, you know, they're both great watches, and I think, you know, they're gonna. If you buy this watch, the Pagani Design, you're gonna be happy with it. I'm telling you that right now. You're gonna be happy with it. And the only time you really see its deficiencies is when you put it side by side with the San Martin. So that kind of that tells you a lot about Pagani Design, and it also tells you a lot about the San Martin. You know, these watches are all constructed pretty similarly, made with the same materials. They have the same style, but you know, when you get them side by side, that's kind of when you start seeing the differences in them. So yeah, that's my my thoughts on the two. Let me know what you guys think. You know, write down in the comments which one you would spend your money on. My money goes to the San Martin. You know, I've ordered them. I've had, I don't know how many San Martins, 4 San Martins now, and each one of them is just awesome. And I tend to gravitate towards the San Martins. So yeah, just let me know what you guys think if you are interested in purchasing these things. Of course, I'm going to leave an affiliate link down below. You know, that kind of just helps grow the channel. It's not going to cost you guys any extra, and I don't think there's any big sales coming up anytime soon. So what I would do is I would drop either one of these into your shopping cart, and you know, just wait for a big sale and just buy it, because honestly, I don't think you can go wrong with either one, especially at the sale prices. $175 for the San Martin, I think, is the price that you need to pull the trigger at, and you know, anything under $70 for the Pagani Design, pull that trigger, and you're going to be happy with either one of them, guys. So yeah, that's about it. Thanks a lot for watching. If you like the video, you want to see more of this kind of comparison stuff, let me know, and I'll see if I can get some more comparable watches, I guess. You know, the channel's not big enough where I'm getting sent watches or anything like that, so I'm buying these on my own. And yeah, so once the San Martin comes back from repair, who knows how long that'll take, this Pagani Design will be going up for sales. But yeah, I'll see if I can do some more comparison, maybe between some steel dives. I know those are pretty popular. Yeah, but thanks a lot for watching, guys, and I'll check you in the next one. See ya.